And the microphones. Yeah.
Yes.
Rear bone.
And guests, would you please sign in?
Hold on. Now you can.
Supervisor Lochran, would you connect, and Supervisor Huffberger? Thank you. Okay, we're all set. Okay, we have 19 present, 2 absent, so we do have a quorum. And this evening, when we do the Pledge of Allegiance, would you please stand for a minute later in honor of our veterans? Thank you. Please join, if you can able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would the veterans in our audience please stand? You've been in service? Okay. Thank you. And thank you for your service. All right, moving on. I need a motion to approve the agenda, and I have a motion by Supervisor Cleveland and a second by Supervisor Latour. There are any additions? If not, please vote your ballot. Supervisor Hulch, who would you vote, please? Thank you. We have 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent, so the agenda has been approved. Looking at the minutes of the April 15th, 2025 meeting, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer, a second by Supervisor Diedrich. Are there any corrections of the minutes? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 19 yes, 0 nay, and 2 absent, so the minutes have been approved. Is there any public participation? Don't see any over there. Okay. Moving on to special business. I'd like to present our Wisconsin State Assembly representative of the 3rd District, Ron Tusler, and thank you, Ron, for finally getting to Calumet County Board.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you everybody for coming and visiting me over the years. I appreciate it. My district has changed quite a bit, but now I represent more Calumet County than I ever have, so that's certainly a blessing. Well, thanks for the invite, and thanks everybody that's serving on this, and thanks for your time today and all the time that you put into this. I notice it. I think everybody else in the county notices it well, so thank you for that service. So a couple of things. First is kind of the status. I wanted to give you an update on the budget in general and then the specific asks that were brought to me. We met, I think it was January 23rd, with folks that came down to the Capitol, and we had some conversations regarding what the asks were. So I'm going to go over those quickly and then just talk to you about a couple other things that I'm working on in the Assembly. So just kind of in general, where is the status of the budget? It has not gotten very far. We are not where we normally are. Last that I checked, we were about 3 weeks behind, but now we're increasing how much behind we are. That might sound bad, but that's kind of business as usual with the budget. The budget has a schedule that we never really keep. We're supposed to try to get the budget done already in June. They ask us to reserve all of June in case we have a budget to vote for. But I'm convinced that we're talking probably more like August, September before everybody is ready. I doubt we will make that July 1st kind of goal that we have each year. Things that slowed us down were really twofold. One, the Supreme Court race. The results of that certainly determine, you know, some of the decisions that we would make one way or the other on basically any issue you can think of is probably a reason why it matters. And then second is the recent Supreme Court case. If you noticed, there was a recent Supreme Court case that expanded the light item veto dramatically. As a result, it will, especially in the first budget right after a decision like that, it's certainly going to affect it. It'll be a more conservative budget. I mean conservative financially, but like conservative in the risks that are taken, conservative in the trust that, you know, is sent over to Governor Evers that he will or won't veto, conservative in the agreements that we make with Governor Evers and vice versa. So it's just, there's a lot of caution that's being made right now because this is the first budget under new rules, and we have the strangest, you know, rule in the country with the line item veto. That's something nobody else does, nobody else ever will do, and we really, you know, in my opinion, it doesn't make any sense for the legislature to have words stricken out of their out of the budget they present. But that's a longer debate that we don't have time for. But so on the specific asks you guys came to me, I thought I'd just kind of give you, even though we haven't decided anything regarding, we haven't made any decision on what will be in the budget, other than a few areas. We're, for the most part, determined on tourism. Tourism is one thing that Republicans and Democrats are pretty happy with. Governor Evers' tourism board has been successful. We agree that it was successful. They've done some good things that we appreciate. So we're going to continue funding those and increase funding there. So that's one thing that, you know, it matters to Calumet County for sure with the growing tourist base here. But tourism, we're going to continue to promote. When it comes to transportation, our transportation budget is, I think, probably going to expand a little bit, but there's probably going to be additional taxation that's involved in transportation. Our last budget that we voted for, that budget was about $500 million lacking in transportation. So if you guys remember, we have a separate transportation budget that's separate from the regular, the general budget for the state of Wisconsin. The reason why we have that is Governor Doyle rated, you know, as you already all know, Governor Doyle rated the transportation fund, and when he rated that fund and took the money out that we needed to pay those folks that had done the work that year, we decided we never wanted that to happen again. So we did a separate fund in our Constitution, and that separate fund is where your gas tax dollars go, that's where your registration fees go, it all goes into that fund. But that fund was $500 million shy of where it needed to be in our last budget. We used general funds and poured it in to meet that budget need. So that's how we paid our bills in the last budget. But we'll have an even larger deficit now in that transportation budget unless we do something with the gas tax or something with fees. We just increased pretty dramatically the fees regarding license plates and that type of thing, your registration fee on a yearly basis, the one that the sticker goes on. So I'm hoping that's not where we go again, because I think that would cause a lot of frustration. I think it's probably more likely, especially with gas decreasing in value, or not decreasing in value, but decreasing in cost, that it's probably going toward a gas tax. That's a conversation we're having right now. That is not a decided matter, but that is how I think that we would try to, because the money's got to come from somewhere. So that's really all we've really gotten to regarding policy decisions on what will likely be in the budget. Regarding the asks you guys made, the first one that I wanted to point out was the $70 million for court cost. That is a judiciary request. I'm chairman of judiciary, so I'm taking that as my request, my main request in the budget. I'm the one organizing that. I'm the one getting other legislators on it. That's my ask to joint finance. That's the one I'll be working on, and I imagine testifying at some point in favor of. So I'll be in leading that. Regarding the state truck highway maintenance funding, that's RMA funding, and the county transportation road aid funding. I think that if we have an increase in revenue regarding that transportation fund that will probably increase further how much we spend on transportation. So, for example, if we were gonna spend, half a billion dollars, that we didn't have last time, we'd probably increase that a little bit. I think that you'll see that money come to RMA and GTA funding, assuming there isn't shenanigans with the line item veto. The line item veto, there really isn't anything you guys can be sure of financially for the state of Wisconsin until you see that governor's signature and you see what those line item vetoes are. The bill that we send to them can be very heavily manipulated by that, and every time us Republicans draft one of these bills, we are so sure that there isn't anything that could be line item vetoed, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of line item vetoes on it that we never were expecting. Some of them we don't think are constitutional, all that drama. But that's just kind of the give and take that's gonna happen. I'm just telling you that until you've seen it signed by the governor, don't assume anything. Regarding the strengthening the viability of county land conservation staffing and the community support programs, both of those issues, I don't have any information on whatsoever. I don't have any more than I did in January. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but we haven't gotten there, and the budget isn't there, and it isn't, something that I'm involved in regarding those issues. So, almost done. One project that I'm working on, maybe for you guys to keep an eye on, is a constitutional amendment. So, we had a constitutional amendment a couple years ago. It started here in Calumet County. Judge Freilich, one day when I was talking to him about ideas, one of his ideas is regarding what information he can review in a bond hearing. And he kind of told me about how, it's judges can't look at, you guys know the story, but long story short is the idea came from him, and we ended up having a constitutional amendment that the people of the state of Wisconsin voted in favor of, and now they can look at a person's background when they're at a bond hearing, which makes a ton of sense, that they should be able to see CAP stuff. Basically, we have another one. Ty Bod might have told you about it. This was his bill last year, and it's my bill now. And what it is another constitutional amendment regarding closing down places of worship. During an emergency, if this passes, during an emergency, the government cannot force places of worship to close. So that's what he's working on. That's what he worked on. That is now in its second term. Now that's my bill. I just testified in favor of it. I expect it to pass the Assembly and the Senate. When it comes to constitutional amendments, that cannot be vetoed by the governor. It goes to referendum, and I expect it'll be probably in referendum sometime next year. We've done polling to see how we think the public will do, and just in general, it's really positive. Even among Democrats, 70% of Democrats plan on voting for it. So I don't imagine that it'll be any different than the bond one was for us, as well as the most recent one we did on voter ID. So again, I think it'll be a positive change to our Constitution. At least I hope so. Other good news that I have, I'm still cancer-free. So if you might have heard, I had spinal cancer last year. It was absolutely brutal, and it left me partially disabled. But it's I'm the second person that's ever been able to stand after a sacromotomy. The sacromotomy is when they take a large chunk of bone from your sacrum. Your sacrum is where your spine kind of splits up. But God blessed my family and me, and I think Christ every day that I'm still able to not just stand, but to be here to serve you. So that's good news regarding Ty, and we still communicate from time to time. Him and I are still very good friends, and I know that he used to come to more board meetings and speak. Let me know if you guys want me to come back again and what you want me to talk on. I hope this was helpful. And with that, does anybody have any questions?
Any questions of Somebody's got to ask some questions.
Hi, Ron. You know what I'm going to ask probably already, right?
No, you're still having so far.
Any updates on Rover and that
Oh,
legislation?
no updates on Rofer. So right now, I don't know whether we're going to have a bill or not. You guys probably know a lot about the story of Rofer and ATC and the companies from Illinois bill that has 50 votes yet, and it passed. So at this point, it's getting to be more something that I'm not hearing about every day, something that most of the people in the assembly seem to move past at this point. But that doesn't mean it won't come back. You know, that's how this stuff is, you know, you think it's over and it comes back and, you know. But, anyway, I've taken my position, basically said I'm gonna wait until we actually have something that may or may not pass before I take any official position on it, so.
Anybody else?
Well, you know where to find me, just call my office, down in Madison if you need me. So, thank you. Thank you for letting me speak first and early.
All right, moving on, we're going to have a comprehensive plan update by Chris Meuer, our planning director.
Everybody, I just wanted to go over a comprehensive plan update for you. The screen should be switching over if it hasn't been switched over. So part of the comprehensive plan update, I think I spoke about a year or so ago with everybody, just to go over the public participation plan as part of the comprehensive plan. So just to get into things a little bit, so what is a comprehensive plan first? It's more of a long-range planning document used to help guide the future growth and development of a municipality over a 20-year time frame. So we're currently in part of our review and update process as part of the comprehensive plan. So why update the comprehensive plan? So the plan is required to be updated at least once every 10 years according to state statutes. The plan update can be used to help municipalities respond to shifts in population growth, housing needs, transportation patterns, really by requiring municipalities to address those particular needs at that point in time. The plan helps guide overall growth and development for the county by using public and municipal input to help create responsible development that's consistent with zoning codes, and it can also help you update your existing codes too to match really what we're seeing on the landscape. The comprehensive plan also helps foster intergovernmental cooperation and break down barriers between municipalities and their residents by really creating transparency. This is one of our bigger goals that we had as part of the comprehensive plan update. We did a lot of outreach with the local municipalities. We've got 7 of our 8 townships that actually decided to participate with us. We also had 2 villages, Potter and Hilbert, and the city of Brilling that also joined us in this plan update. So it's really a rather large undertaking that we're doing. It's a pretty unique undertaking too, because not a lot of counties get city or village participation in their plan updates. So it's really nice to see that we are able to get those municipalities to actually participate with us. So we decided to take a little bit of a different approach with the comprehensive plan update this time. We're using something that's called story maps. So we went away from the traditional PDF style documents, which are, our last plan was about 600 pages in length, so a very large document. By switching to this particular format, we were able to trim it down to around 200 pages. And the real reason we were able to do that is because we're able to use more visual elements as part of that comprehensive plan. It's use more interactive maps, visuals, rather than trying to portray that information just through text. So it's kind of a unique document to be able to use. More municipalities are kind of shifting towards this direction as well. East Central is going to be doing their regional comprehensive plan update, and we'll likely be using the similar format that we also used. So why I'm here today is to give you a little bit more information just on the overall planning process, because we're getting closer to the point where we would be doing adoption. So I wanted to share with you how to really access the overall comprehensive plan to be able to provide your comments and feedback, and to really show you just a little sneak peek on what the story map itself looks like. So if you go to the county's website, you can go under the popular information, and then there's the 2045 comprehensive plan update page. On the plan update page, we've got quite a bit of information that's on here. This is our most recent update from May. This was just updated a couple of days ago. We've got a few new chapters that were recently added, include our agricultural, natural, and cultural resources, and economic development. We've got links directly to the comprehensive plan itself here, and there's also the comments and feedback section. Down below, we also have our comprehensive plan timeline on here, which so you can kind of see our progress that we've made really throughout the planning process. You see our original plan was updated or adopted in 2007 and has been updated a few times since then. We really started our overall planning process in this cycle back in the fall of 2022. So we've been at this for a few years already, just getting the local municipalities kind of on board with our process. So since that time, we've adopted the public participation plan. Like I said, that was about a year or so ago. We've also then been going through the municipal engagement process, which is part of the public participation plan. We were going to county fair and other events to try and garner public interest. We've done a bunch of social media posts. We have a large email listing too that we were able to send updates out to the general public. We've been able to create our future land use map, which is currently in draft mode right now, and hold several open house meetings. Currently where we're at right now is we've got majority of our chapters are already complete and uploaded into our comprehensive plan story map. And then we are looking to adopt sometime around summer of this year. We're probably looking at around July or August. So we'll be coming back around that time for official adoption. So I'll share with you guys a little bit some of the story map itself. So you can kind of see what it looks like. The document is more in a scrolling format, so as you scroll down, you'll see that our chapter headers will appear up at the top here. We're able to, like I said, add in a bunch of different mapping elements as well as different visuals and graphics throughout the overall plan. So as we kind of scroll through, you'll see that some of our elements do change, and kind of zoom in as well. I can get to some of our more interesting maps on here that are a little bit more interactive for you guys. Just to kind of show you our different functional classifications. So we are able to actually click into some of these maps and then see additional information if we want to. We don't necessarily need to. That's kind of the nice part about story maps, is you can go as in depth as you really want to as part of these, or you can really stay at high level. It's really up to the user of the overall map on what information it is that they want to see. Just find a couple of different interesting elements that we have in here, so we're able to zoom in on specific projects if we would like to. We were able to incorporate a lot of the capital improvement projects for the highway department in the comprehensive plan, so we can actually click on these, zoom into them. We get a little bit more information on that particular project itself. And the whole reason to include these elements in here is so that the highway department is able to then apply for different levels of funding, whether it be through the state or federal level. As long as they have these elements included in the comprehensive plans, that kind of gets them additional points towards their applications. So with this plan too, we're also looking to do essentially yearly updates on it so that we can include additional planning elements for both the Parks Department as well as for highway on their different projects. Getting into some of our other mapping elements in here, just kind of show you, we've got our gas and electric map on here, which is kind of interesting. It has a slider function on here, so you can actually move it back and forth to display different information. Like I said, it's a lot easier to be able to combine this information together using this story map and really reduce the overall size by using these particular elements. Getting to some of our ag and natural cultural resources. We've got some interesting things with our parks and our boat launches. We're able to add it into more of a kind of a visual element as well. It takes a second to scroll to it. So we're able to display them kind of on a mini map that will appear up at the top left, kind of displaying Lake Winnebago. Then as we scroll through these elements, we can actually then display our different harbors, parks. We've got a drone as part of the department too. So we took all these pictures and included them in it. We've got a little bit of snippet then on each individual harbor location as well. So it kind of zooms throughout, showing different elements. And then at the end of our elements that we have so far, like I said, we just updated our economic development and ag, natural, and cultural resources section. At the end of the actual plan here, then we have our comments, feedbacks, and questions section. So if you notice anything or have questions on anything, you're able to fill out this particular form here and then provide whatever feedback it is that you have, and then we can make those potential updates to our plan. So you can either access this through the end of the story map itself, or you can go and access it through the link that we have provided on the plan update page on our website. So like I said, we're hoping to come back within the next couple of months here, once we have more elements that are added into it. Max, our GIS specialist within our department, he's been doing a lot of the build out on the story map, as well as Matt Hollida, our county planner. So they've been taking the main undertaking with updating the comprehensive plan and been doing a really great job with it. So like I said, we should have all of our elements updated within the next couple of months here to be able to hold our public hearing and then come back to you guys. So if you got a chance, go to the plan update page, provide us with your comments and feedback. So.
Anybody got any questions right now? Supervisor Hufsberger.
Thank you, Chris. Chris gives Planning and Zoning Committee an assignment, a work assignment every month. So we go through a couple of these chapters. It's a really a lot of good information in this thing. It used to be 600 pages, well, 200 pages still might as well be. You know, it's kind of like reading the Bible. We all like to do it, but nobody does it. But if you want to know anything about Calumet County, it's really some good information there. If you possibly can take 5 or 10 minutes to look at it, you will be amazed. That's what I'm kind of worried about. We've been pushing them so hard and pushing everybody to make sure people know what this is. Let's not let this be one of those documents that sits in the town clerk's upper left-hand corner there, getting dustier and dustier. It's really good. Take a look at it. It's really nice, really important, valuable piece of information. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Supervisor Hufsberger. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Chris. All right, moving on to resolutions. We have Resolution 2025-08.
Confirming and ratifying the authority of counsel for Calumet County to add additional defendants to the opioid litigation, including in MDL 2804, introduced by Supervisors Dietrich and Johnston.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Elliott and a second by Supervisor Steer. And Supervisor Dietrich, would you want to speak to this resolution?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. This resolution, if you've had a chance to look at it, is pretty straightforward. As you know, we've been involved with the opioid litigation, and this does not affect anything that's already happened or been decided or has been through the courts. This is simply an opportunity for us to add additional defendants should they come up. And if there are further questions, we can turn it over to the Corp Counsel. But basically, they're letting us, or if we pass this, there's just basically letting the attorneys add defendants as they need to for further litigation. So it doesn't affect anything that's happened in the past.
Thank you, Supervisor Dietrich. Anything else? Are there any questions? I don't see any requests to speak, so please vote your ballot. We have 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent, so that resolution has been adopted. Moving on to ordinances, ordinances 2025-06.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Brillion, property of Donald and Leanne Buboltz.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Johnson and a second by Supervisor Dietrich. And Supervisor Hufberger, would you speak to this ordinance, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Donald and Leanne Buboltz and Agent Stephen Apps are requesting to rezone approximately 24 acres from the exclusive ag district to the exclusive agricultural preservation district, and approximately 1.2 acres to the agricultural residential district. The rezoning will allow for the creation of the new residential lot on the property while minimizing the loss of farmland. The rezone is consistent with the town and county comp plan and compliant with the applicable ordinances. The town of Brillion has no objection to the proposed rezone.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Hufberger. Are there any questions? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. have 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to supervisor reports. If any supervisor has a report of any meetings they've attended, please press your request to speak. Supervisor Booty?
Thank you very much. First, to start with, sorry I wasn't here at last month's meeting. However, at that time, I was attending the National Association of County Engineers Conference in Schaumburg, Illinois. We had many breakout sessions there. I particularly focused on a few sessions dealing with emergency management, traffic safety mitigation measures, and asphalt pavement preservation. In early April, I would join the Wisconsin County Highway Association and the Wisconsin Transportation Development Association on a fly-in to Washington, D.C., where we met with state representatives and senators there to discuss the importance of federal efforts in making our transportation system here in Wisconsin stronger. Today, well, yesterday and today, WCHA and WTDA had a joint drive-in in Madison where we spoke with members of the Joint Finance Committee about those very same issues. Well, I guess, except how the state can help us have a better transportation system here. You may have seen it, and Chris was talking about it, functional classifications of roadways. At our April meeting, the East Central Wisconsin Regional Plan Commission Metropolitan Planning Organization did update some functional classifications of roadways in our area, in addition to approving a few other planning documents at that time. Last week, the Wisconsin County Highway Association Northeast Region Commissioners and Committee Members meeting, Joe Miller and I both attended that meeting. We heard a presentation giving an update on the Interstate 41 improvement program from Appleton to De Pere. If anyone has any questions, I can answer those later. I can also point you to a website which is going to be way more accurate than I could ever be. We also discussed, or rather learned about, a local technical assistance program that the Wisconsin DOT has to offer. It includes a lot of different ways that they can help local governments with transportation-related items. So that's all I've got to say about those meetings in the past month. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. Seeing that there are no other ones, and we'll move on to the County Administrator's report. Were there any questions regarding his report? Seeing none, then our next regular meeting will be June 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. You received some information regarding the county conference. Be sure to get that back to our clerk on the due date. And with that, we've completed our agenda, so I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you for your attendance, and please drive safely home. Half an hour.